Joining me next is Russell Sykes of the Manhattan Institute to talk about New York State's recent decision to stop fingerprinting food stamp recipients. Welcome, Mr. Sykes.
How are you, Jason?
So the mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, and the governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo, had quite a battle royale over this issue. The governor prevailed. He wanted to stop the fingerprinting. But who had the better argument in this case? The mayor, who wanted to continue the process, or the governor?
Well, I think the mayor had the best argument by far. I mean, when you look at the facts, this was not deterring participation. Participation in the food stamp program is at an all-time high nationwide, an all-time high in New York State, an all-time high in New York City. In fact, the Department of Agriculture says that 84% of all the possible food benefits, food stamp benefits that could be issued in New York are being issued. We get $5.5 billion a year statewide, $3.5 billion of that in New York City, and there's nothing criminalizing about this. There's nothing degrading about it. The fact of the matter is it's used in occupations and trades across the board. It's a growing industry, and it's infallible. The bottom line is you cannot open duplicate food stamp cases if you have a finger image on file, whereas the solution that the governors have, which is not even a new one, which is matching Social Security numbers, is nowhere near as infallible and naively assumes that people always tell the truth.
Well, if it's such a logical fraud prevention process here that we're talking about, why is it that so few cities and states do it? My understanding is that New York State was, or New York City, the state ended the process. Only the city, New York City, was still doing it, and I believe the only other place that does it is Arizona. So if it's such a no-brainer, why so few jurisdictions decide to do this?
Well, I think you have to step back a minute and understand that we'll still be doing it in New York State. The fact of the matter is, as a matter of law, which began under the current governor's father, Mario Cuomo, we will still be finger imaging anyone who is a beneficiary of welfare in this state, and that will include 30% of food stamp recipients that get both cash assistance and food stamps. I would say we've just been very smart about it. It's a growing field of identity. You have to have a finger image. To give you an example of how absurd the notion of decriminalizing it is, you have to have a finger image to get into Disney World.
Okay. Yes, it's true. I've been there. So you're saying the fact that we have such high participation rates pushes back against the argument that opponents of fingerprint make, that it's a deterrent to people, that people are going hungry because they don't want to be stigmatized by being fingerprinted. You're saying our high participation rate shows that that's obviously not the case.
I think that's obviously not the case, and frankly, I just don't understand. One of the deterrent effects is the fact that we don't want, in a program of this size that responds to a down economy like the food stamp program does successfully, we want public trust and public integrity. So why would you possibly or conceivably, when you're not deterring participation and a foolproof, fail-proof system of identity protection so people can't double dip? Look at everyone else that wants to be a child care worker, wants to be a teacher, someone who takes a bar exam and has to be finger imaged so they can't have someone take it in their place. I mean, the fact of the matter, they're not decriminalized. People that go into Disney World don't hop the next plane back from Orlando to wherever they came from because they feel like they're being treated poorly. It's a nonsensical argument, and it's been a political solution. Frankly, the advocate community talked loudly and long about how many people were being deterred, but as I said, 84% of all possible food stamp benefits are already being issued in New York, and we have over 3 million people on the rolls, 1 in every 6 New Yorkers, and we get $5.5 billion a year in benefits.